You see. But within the framework of that body lies different realities, light, darkness, and so many things. If you read Isaiah, I think Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7, God said that I form the light and I create darkness, I make peace and create war, that I do all those. Anybody can go and read it, Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. But when we read Deuteronomy, you see, if you study the Bible very well, you will see where it is said that God dwells in a realm that is unapproachable light. But what about the realm of darkness? Who dwells there ultimately? Who controls there ultimately? It's the same God. That means that God has versions of himself. The dimension of God from whence these versions, the ultimate dimension of the one eternal Almighty, from whence his versions proceeds into multitudinous manifestation, can't be known in eternity. That is the core identity of himself, which only himself knows. Now, from that core of himself comes manifestations. And these manifestations are given different names. Like today, the one that is speaking here, I speak about the Lord manifesting to me, coming to my abode from time to time. That is a particular kind of his manifestation. If you look at, even when God comes to manifestation in this form, let's say this is a human manifestation of God. That human manifestation also can also initiate another manifestation, which becomes external in such terms from the original manifestation. And I have given example of these things many times in the Bible. But that all manifestations are united in the essence of one mind, one purpose, one action, one law, one love. And this ultimate unity lies within the core identity of the one eternal Almighty God that can't be known. Whether you are a spirit, angel, human being, you must know that there is an aspect of God that can't be known. And even you can get a clue, because we talk about God having no beginning and end. Is there any creature, no matter how great he is in the universe, that we have anything to say about the beginningless of the one eternal Almighty? No creature can have absolute understanding about that internal reality came to be. So that dimension represents an aspect of internal searching, and that searching will also not have an end because it constitutes the base of manifestations. You see, so when you read the scriptures very well, you will see that even God himself sometimes he speaks from darkness, even embedded in darkness, and that is one reality that believers doesn't want to accept. They create a dichotomy of light and darkness, as if light, light is the Almighty God, and darkness is Satan. And that means, in such terms, it means that both light and darkness have two different sources. No, there's only one source. It's like fire. I've given this as an example. It's like fire. You put fire. When you put fire, heat comes out of fire. Smoke comes out of fire. Light also comes out of fire. The light will not do what the smoke does. The smoke will not do what the light does. The light will not do what the heat does. You see, by coming to manifestation as light, the light will now have its own primary function that is different from smoke that still comes from the same fire, that is different from the heat. But whether light, whether heat, whether smoke, they all have one source, which is fire. So one can use such as a base of understanding or having a clue to understand the nature of ultimate truth, ultimate reality. If you read the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 11, he says, "And ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire unto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness." Verse 12, "And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire, Ye heard the voice of the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice. Where did this voice come from? Was it not the voice of the Lord? But it came from an aspect of himself related to darkness. 1 Samuel chapter 2. Wait a minute. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 9. What is written there? It is written, he will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. Did you see where the wicked shall be silenced in darkness? Darkness is mentioned here. Okay, now read 2 Samuel. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Second Samuel chapter 22 verse 29. 2 Samuel chapter 22 verse 29. For thou art my lamp, that is light, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkness. You see a kind of a dichotomy here. Huh? You are my lamp, you are my light, and you will lighten my darkness. All this light and darkness comes within the framework of experience. But what is the source of them all? You see, if you read 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 12, let's see what is written there. 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 12. Then spake Solomon, the Lord said that he will dwell in the thick darkness. So the Lord said that he himself will dwell in the thick darkness. Now you see some prayers offered in the scriptures, prayers are offered to the Lord that you are my light and you will enlighten my darkness. But ultimately, who dwells in darkness? Who controls it? So it's not. And when you say the Lord dwelled, the Lord dwelled in the thick darkness, what is he doing there? In that thick darkness, what will the Lord be doing there? Is it not from that point that he controls Satan and all the demonic powers in all the universes? Because they are not the all and all. All these powers of darkness are not the all and all. Something is beyond them that controls them. So, I hope I have given a sufficient clue as to gain understanding in the light of the questions brought about by the daughter of Zion.